Alrighty, good afternoon, welcome. We're back with another Facebook Live. My name is Lucas, and I'm here joined today with Jamie, who's the General Manager of Sure-Dry. Thank you for welcoming us into this beautiful building here, right here on Stewart Avenue on a beautiful day. The garage doors are open, the employees are out and about. It's a beautiful time to be here. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, you bet.
Awesome. So, this came across our radar. It's time to tell a story. You guys are celebrating 5 years here in the city of Wausau this year. How did that decision, happen coming up from Menasha?
Yeah, so this is our 31st year in business, but headquartered in Menasha. And so it was probably about 6-7 years ago we really started to make a look to look at how often our employees were having to stay out overnight out of town, away from their families. And we knew that we really wanted to get a focus out in the North Woods and really be able to start to build the brand up here. And so the combination of employees having to be away from their families, not great for work-life balance, and the expense of hotels, vehicle repairs, fuel, things like that, it made it a real kind of obvious choice to come out here. The fact that we're on Stewart Avenue and then backing up to Highway 29, great visibility, easy access for our crews to be able to get to the Northwood. So turned out to be a real easy decision for us.
There's probably no shortage of clients up here either with the
Not
amount
at all, no.
Awesome. Well, that's very good. So let's talk about spring season. Really nice day out today. When you look at the springtime for your clients, what type of things should they be looking out for in their basements?
Yeah, so coming out of winter, in the winter we get frost that goes in the ground. This year, roughly 3.5 feet deep was the frost in the ground, and so that frost, as it starts to expand, it's pushing lateral pressure on those walls, and eventually they'll end up starting to crack like this. Then spring rains and thaw, snow melt ends up finding a path of least resistance, ends up coming in. So if you got a block foundation, you might start seeing some efflorescence, which is like a white chalky powder on your walls.
Mm-hmm.
That means there's those cavities of the block is full of water. If you got a poured wall, some leaks to the wall, you'll start to see potential leakage out of there. And so we've got an array of products that can handle almost any of the situations.
You've also got a crew of guys that like going into crawl spaces, from what I've heard.
We do, yeah. We do a lot of crawl space work, and so with crawl spaces, we're looking to encapsulate them so that we're isolating that moisture that's coming out of the ground, which that's coming into the crawl space air. It's causing your floor joists to start to rot. Anything organic is going to start to turn moldy, and that air that's in your crawl space is what ultimately ends up you end up breathing that on the first floor or the second floor. Due to what's called stack effect, where the air from down below will rise up ultimately through the attic of the home. So encapsulating that, putting in a dehumidifier like our Sedona, removes 100 pints of water a day. Pretty cool stuff to really, your house doesn't have to have that cottagey smell, which
too many people are used to.
Yeah.
Right? So in addition to kind of checking foundations, things along that nature in the crawl space, what other products and things do you guys really specialize in?
Yep. So we have egress windows. So we install egress windows. We do concrete lifting. So we can drill a hole about the size of your finger into the hole, into the concrete, and then shoot a 2-part foam that will fill in any voids, and then we'll ultimately raise that concrete back up. Pretty cool stuff. So mud jacking would be like the alternative to that, but that's like old school technology. This is new school technology. We've been doing that for a dozen years or so. We also do crawl space encapsulation, waterproofing, and then foundation repair for walls that are pushing in or homes that are sinking in the ground. We can drive steel in the ground and lift those homes back up.
Interesting. And you mentioned these very interesting products behind us.
Yeah.
It seems like almost every home I go into has one. What are these things?
Yep. So this is called the Triple Safe. So this is a patented product for Sure-Dry that it actually has 3 pumps in it. So 2 AC pumps that plug into the wall, and they're set at 2 different heights. One's a 3rd horsepower pump, and the other one is a 1/2 horsepower pump.
Okay.
The 3rd horsepower is quieter, does the normal day-to-day pumping, But if you end up with significant amount of water coming in because of heavy rains or snow melt, that second pump can kick in, and the two of them run on their own discharge lines out. And then the final thing is there's a third pump in there that is a DC battery backup that if power goes out, which happens quite a bit, that pump will kick in, and there's an alarm on it that tells you, hey, the battery backup's working, so like going to need to do something. But that pump can pump 12,000 gallons worth of water out of it on a full charge.
Wow.
So pretty cool stuff.
Very cool. Well, that's patented technology that could be in your basement. Holy cow. Well, that's very cool. So doing a little bit of research, I was like, well, they've been in Wausau for 5 years. Well, what does Marathon County think? And Marathon County has voted you guys best of for basement waterproofing and foundation care for the last 5 years. You're 5 for 5.
Yes.
What other industry accreditations or things do you guys look for in, beyond the best of Marathon County?
Yeah, so we won the Better Business Bureau Torch Award for ethics. And so we won that, and then a couple years later, a sister company of ours called Badger Basement Systems down in Fort Atkinson, they ended up winning it. We're the only 2 foundation repair companies ever to win that award. That award's been around for 100 plus years, I believe. So that was super cool. We've won Community Partner of the Year for some other chambers that we're in. So we're very active. We try to be very active in the communities that we serve.
Well, and we appreciate that. You guys have a hole at our golf outing coming up in June, and so it should be a great day to see you guys out there mingling with the business community and doing that. Also, sounds like there's a party in the planning. So it looks like July 17th, we have a Fun at 5 taking place right here.
Yes.
Are you guys ready to launch the theme of that party?
Absolutely, yeah. So theme's going to be Miami Vice. So you're going to see a lot of pastel colors and some pretty cool backdrops. The shop's going to get kind of converted into almost a Miami scene scape. So we'll have some cocktails. We'll have some catered food. So it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, bring your sunglasses.
Yeah.
Wear your bright colors.
That's right.
And hope for a day just like today, 85 degrees and sunny. So that's very cool, and that's awesome. So it sounds like from this conversation, I have to go home and check on my basement as it is. Look for some of those key signs you're looking for. And if I need anything, you guys have probably one of the coolest numbers in town, 715 Sure-Dry.
That's right.
Well, that's very nice. Sounds good. Thank you so much for helping us share your story and things that we can do. Let's go ahead and check them out online, Sure-Dry.com.
Sure-Dry Basements.
Sure-DryBasements.com.
With an S at the end, yep.
Honestly, they fought for the phone number. Let's give them a call, 715 Sure-Dry. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you want us to come and help you tell your story, sign up at our website, WausauChamber.com. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you soon.